Hello, Samuel. How you doing? Thank you for your submission here. And I just leaving feedback for Javier, and my recommendation was this, and I'm also going to recommend this to you as well. When you are when you're posting in the discussion board, let the discussion board work for you. So in other words, you might as well go into the discussion board. Unless you're the first person that posts, you've got several resources before yours that you can use to establish your work. So in other words, if you're the fifth person that posts, boy, you should have four sets of critique in front of you, and indeed you do. You've got Mark's, you've got Teresa's, then you've got Danny's, then you've got Javier's post, and then you've got my post here. So you have all of those that you can use as a resource for your post to make your post more effective. And that's one of the things that makes it extremely difficult for people like Mark who like to post first as opposed to posting on later on. And thank you, Mark. Of course, I appreciate that. As I mention every week, when you post first, it's not always the easiest thing to do. So thank you. But Samuel, what I'm saying is that use that. Those are resources. You can use all those critiques to your benefit. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because several times before this, I've mentioned that there's no image in the first three. Okay, no image here, here, or here. Image is only in the fourth composition. So that said, let's go ahead and take a look. I think you've done a good job establishing hierarchy. I really do. I think you get it. I definitely feel like you get it. A couple of things I want to recommend. Okay, so this is great. So the only thing you've done here is everything is the same except you've created subgroups, and that establishes hierarchy. Got to get rid of the car in that, and then you can go ahead and space those, respace those accordingly. Get rid of the car in this, get rid of the car in this. Second iteration, the second design, one new size and one new weight. So here's your new size right here, and then here's your new weights here. So you've almost created these little headline and these little subheads. So this is fantastic hierarchy. It's wonderful, Samuel, because your viewer is going like this. You definitely want the viewer to look here first. Absolutely, right? Then you're saying, these are all equal. Here's a headline, and here's a headline. So you're basically telling the viewer, I want you to look here first, then here, then here, then here. Fantastic. Nice alignment. Outstanding work. Okay. A couple of issues up here in your kerning. Okay, this 1966 is really, really wide. So is 426. Not so much. This is really wide here. So don't forget everything we've learned up to now. You should be employing in our subsequent assignments as we move through the class. Right? That makes sense. Okay. Third composition should be multiple contrasts in weight and scale. But we don't see that. Basically, what we have here in the third composition is the same thing as we have in the second. We've just got one new size and one new scale. So here's the new size, here's the new scale. Instead of multiple, I'm sorry, multiple contrasts in weight and scale. But here we only have one new weight and one new size. There's the new weight, there's the new size. Same thing as this, basically. Okay, so, but you want to introduce multiple weights, multiple scales in this one, okay? Get rid of the image, and then, okay, and then in the fourth one, you're gonna take that same multiple weights, multiple scales, okay, only this time you're gonna add the image. Now, if you take a look at the instructions for the image, it says the image must be cropped. Okay, so you have to crop your muscle car. And then also you want to bleed the car in two areas. All right, and this is a great example. I left this example in right here, in my post in the discussion board. So take a look at that. But in this example, you can see the car's cropped, right? No background. And then here it bleeds here and it bleeds here. Then we've got multiple scale here. And this is where we go. This is just separation, creating hierarchy by grouping. Here's introduction of a new weight and a new weight here, new scale here. Here's introduction of multiple scales and weights. And this is multiple scales and weights with the image bleeding on two sides, cropped. Okay. Now, one thing I want to mention again to me, it's obvious that you understand or you're developing a good understanding of typographic hierarchy. In the fourth composition, no, don't forget, you got to crop that background out of there. And this is black and white too, no color in this assignment. As we jump over here, we can see right here, designs in black and white, shades of gray only. So that should be a grayscale image of the car. Okay, now over here, this is a centered alignment, basically. So you've got the headline centered, which means that the central axis is right down the middle of the page, all right? You've also got all of your type centered. Now, one thing we know in typography is center alignment is not your friend. It's very formal, and it's not very visually dynamic. And you'll see and hear designers say that over and over, that it's not always, or very rarely is it the best solution to center align type. And the reason for that, Samuel, so you know, is that center alignment creates symmetrical negative space around the type. And that is not as interesting as left alignment, where you have this dynamic activation of negative space. So left alignment is definitely the way to go. Or right alignment in particular cases. Right now, I would concentrate on left alignment in this particular assignment. So those are my recommendations moving forward. If you have any questions, please let me know. But again, in review, here's the deal. So the image is only in the fourth image. Black and white, shades of gray, that's it. First design, no contrast, just create hierarchy based on grouping. Second design, introduce one new size, one new weight. Third design, introduce multiple sizes, multiple weights. And then in the fourth, maintain, again, multiple sizes, multiple weights. Different layout than the third, of course. And this time you're going to introduce the car, which is a grayscale image with cropped, the background's cropped out, and it's bleeding at least two places in the composition. Okay, page 101 in the textbook is your friend. Shows you wonderful, wonderful establishment and building typographic hierarchy. And again, the announcement, the course announcement over here. Welcome to week 3. Good video, great introduction here, nice little lecture, a couple of resources here. Here's using InDesign to create your grid. You can do the same thing using Illustrator. You just go Google how to create a grid in Illustrator. You'll see here's some examples of grids and how you can use them. And then here's some actual live grids showing how the text is, how the grid is actually superimposed over these layouts. So you can really see the grid in action here. Then we've got, of course, 2 more wonderful resources. All right, so Samuel, good start, and go ahead and take it from there. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. Thanks, man.